7 miraculous divine signs confirmed that someone is supernaturally missing you right now. The evening fog crept into the heart of the village, wrapping around the little church like an embrace from beyond. It was here that Sarah, a devoted soul with unyielding faith, breathed in the chilly air, hoping for warmth that would come from above. Each knock on her door echoed with divine intrigue, and in the flickering candlelight, she felt the first tug, a whisper from the heavens. Something special is about to happen, she thought, her heart racing. As she gathered her family for the prayer vigil, Sarah couldn't shake the thought that someone was missing her, someone her heart yearned for. The air was electric with urgency, each prayer reverberating like a heartbeat through the wooden pews. Then, as they bowed their heads, a sudden chill swept the room. Candles flickered and danced, their flames reaching skyward as if to convey a silent message. It was then that they felt the unmistakable warmth of comfort, a soft glow wrapping around their aching hearts. "Did you see that?" murmured her brother, eyes wide. "Like the spirit is moving. This is different." Sarah smiled, yet deep inside, worry gnawed at her heart. The heaviness of her father's illness cast a shadow, and she felt pulled into her own tempest of faith and doubt. And then it happened, a knock at the door. The unexpected visitor was Pastor James, an enigmatic man draped in energy that seemed otherworldly. He stepped inside, his eyes glinting with secrets and wisdom. "I have a message," he said, voice rich with reverence. "St. Jude has blessings waiting for you all." In that moment, hope wrapped around her like a familiar blanket, and yet confusion swirled within. Days melted into an enchanting series of dreams for Sarah. Each night, her childhood friend Abigail, who had vanished years ago, danced through her mind, their laughter echoing like music forgotten. It felt as if Abigail was reaching out, leaving signs, feathers in her path, the gentle chime of a bell ringing at the distance, even the sudden blooming of flowers where none had been before. Can this truly be? She wondered. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Yet as sickness eclipsed her father's strength, anxiety surged within her like a fierce tide. The vibrant colors of her visions faded to grays and blacks. "Why, Lord?" she cried, voice shaky with despair, questioning everything she had once believed. Silence followed, a deafening, aching stillness that drowned her spirit in doubt. But it was at that moment of desperation that divine orchestration revealed itself. Newfound friends rallied around her, kindred souls from the church devoted to bearing one another's burdens. Among them was a gentle heart, who handed Sarah an old letter, yellowed with time. "It's from Abigail," they said softly, watching her eyes widen with curiosity. As Sarah opened the envelope, vibrations of sacred energy filled the air, creating a space charged with anticipation. Would this letter reveal the truths she desperately sought, or would it plunge her deeper into confusion? In that charged moment, the community huddled closer, uniting their faith and strength, as new divine mysteries began to unfurl before her very eyes. They were indeed right at the edge of a revelation. Did Abigail's spirit, long gone, reach out with a purpose beyond her understanding? As Sarah unfolded the letter, her hands trembled, the delicate paper whispering stories of the past. The first words shimmered with familiarity. "Dear Sarah, if you're reading this, know that I am always with you." Tears prickled her eyes. There was warmth in the words, a spark of hope igniting amidst the fears that had wrapped around her heart. Her community, hushed and expectant, leaned in closer. David, a young man with a gentle spirit, murmured softly, "This is special. God is at work." The weight of his words hung in the air, a collective breath held in reverence. The letter spoke of Abigail's dreams, her desires to help others, and an unwavering belief in the bonds of friendship that transcended even death. Each line glowed with a strength that bridged the years between them, echoing the profound truth that love knows no boundaries. Sarah read on. The mixture of joy and sorrow washed over her. Abigail spoke of a vision, a luminous light guiding her to help those she loved. It leads me back to you, she had written, promising that we will find each other again, no matter the distance. With each syllable, Sarah felt a balm over her wounds, a glimmer of possibility cutting through the fog of despair that had settled around her father's illness. My dear family, the letter continued, I stand by your side in a different way now. Watch for the signs I leave for you. In that moment, Sarah understood a connection, an ethereal bond, was forever woven between them. Her heart raced, the flickering candles casting playful shadows on the walls, as if affirming this revelation. What if her brother whispered, a newfound excitement glimmering in his eyes? What if Abigail sends us a sign that will guide us? The hope in his voice flickered brightly, and Sarah felt her spirit lift, even just a little. As the evenings passed, Sarah embraced her new mission. Every feather, a gift. Every bell chime, a reminder. Each day, she wandered through the fields and streets of her village, seeking signs of Abigail, believing she was there, hidden just beyond her sight. Days turned into weeks. Laughter began to merge with the sorrow. The warmth of community became an armor against loneliness. But then, one fateful evening as clouds loomed overhead, Sarah stumbled upon something astounding. In a damp corner of the church garden, a single white flower had bloomed, radiant against the dark earth. It stood alone, a miracle in the making, just like the signs Abigail promised. As if the flower was reaching out with a divine message, Sarah felt it pulsing with energy. Could it be an answer to a prayer she hadn't even spoken? In awe, she knelt beside the delicate bloom, entranced by its beauty and the weight of its meaning. Just as she prayed for clarity, a gust of wind swirled around her, lifting leaves into a playful dance. There it was again, a feeling of presence, of assurance that her friend was watching. But then, a distant rumble cut through the stillness as thunder rolled. A sense of urgency filled Sarah's heart. What other signs might appear? Would they honor her quest? The question throbbed in the depths of her mind. What lies ahead as she continues to seek her friend's spirit through the signs? Who else might step into this unfolding divine mystery? The air crackled with anticipation, and in that delicate breath between prayer and promise, questions lingered, urging Sarah onward. The world around Sarah darkened as the rumble of thunder grew closer. Yet, beneath the storm, a flicker of resolve ignited within her. She stood, staring at the white flower, realizing it was not just a sign, it was an invitation to delve deeper. Picking her way back through the garden, Sarah felt the air pulse with possibility. She knew she couldn't contain this experience. Abigail's spirit was a guiding light, and every small thing now felt interconnected. The people of her village were also part of this journey. Perhaps they too had stories or signs to share. As she entered the warm glow of the church hall, the hum of whispered conversations enveloped her. The congregation was gathered for prayer, and their voices wound together like a sacred song. Sarah felt the invitation pulse through her chest, a gentle nudge to join them. Everyone, Sarah called out softly, drawing their attention. The chatter faded, replaced by an expectant hush. I found something today. She recounted her discovery of the flower, a vivid emblem of hope, and how Abigail's letter urged them to be watchful for other signs. The flickering candles cast dancing shadows on their faces, illuminating the wide-eyed expressions of her friends and family. A murmur of reverence rippled through the crowd. David stepped forward, his eyes alight with kindled faith. God often speaks through nature, through the signs around us. Maybe we should hold a prayer vigil, he suggested. His voice steady. A wave of agreement washed over the room. Plans quickly materialized, a gathering not just to seek signs, but to embrace the connection they all longed for. The very thought settled like a warm blanket on Sarah's shoulders. What if, together, they could bring forth their prayers, inviting the divine to respond? As the evening unfolded, they prepared for the vigil. Candles were lit, their flames flickering like stars against the backdrop of the night. The air was filled with the scent of blooming lavender, carried by a soft breeze that hinted at something miraculous on the horizon. With each whispered prayer, an intimate bond began to bloom among the congregation. Tears of gratitude glistened on cheeks, and quiet laughter mixed with moments of profound silence. Abigail's is the spirit behind each of them. They could almost feel her presence wrapping around them like an embrace. Then suddenly, a torrent of rain began to beat rhythmically against the roof, a celestial chorus backing their gathering. Signal after signal, each raindrop seemed to echo with Sarah's own heartbeat. It was as if the heavens were joining in their prayer. She was not alone in this endeavor. Amidst the storm, Sarah felt an overwhelming surge of determination rise within her. She squeezed specific hands, met eyes sparkling with hope, and shared stories of the divine tapping into her world through signs. But as the vigil continued, a significant shift occurred. Just as humility wrapped its warmth around each person, a bright flash of lightning split the sky, followed by an unprecedented calm. Silence enveloped them, a holy hush that beckoned next steps. "Do you feel that?" Sarah whispered, glancing around. There was something palpable in the air, an electric anticipation pulling her toward the edge of discernment. Could it be a sign of what lay ahead? As they all collectively held their breath, one question lingered unspoken among them. What could be unfolding in that profound stillness? The night promised answers, but would they be ready to discover what the divine had in store for them? The air hung heavy, laced with expectation and the scent of rain-soaked earth. Sarah could feel the tension in her chest, a trembling anticipation that rippled through the congregation like a live wire. They were all gathered together, united by something deeper than just faith, a longing for connection, a thirst for truth. The flickering candlelight danced across the faces of her friends and family, illuminating eyes wide with curiosity, hearts beating in unison. It was a moment ripe with possibility, and for Sarah, the ache of uncertainty felt almost tangible. She closed her eyes and inhaled deeply, letting the fragrances of lavender and earth wash over her, grounding her in this sacred space. "I believe," she began, her voice steady despite the storm brewing above, "that we might be on the brink of seeing something miraculous. We've been drawn together for a reason." She looked from face to face, willing them to see the weight of her words. Abigail's spirit, it's here with us, urging us to open our hearts. A ripple of agreement surged through the crowd, filling the space with a quiet energy. David stepped closer, his brow slightly furrowed. "What do you think we should do next, Sarah? What do these signs mean for us?" She met his gaze, her heart pounding beneath the weight of realization. "Perhaps we should look beyond the flower, beyond what we think we know. Signs aren't just for us, they're an invitation for all of us to open up, to share our struggles and joys. We can't be afraid." As she spoke, the room's atmosphere shifted. A low rumble of thunder echoed softly in the distance. But this time, it felt different, felt like a beginning rather than an interruption. It was nature's voice, calling them to witness the extraordinary in the midst of the ordinary. "Let us each take a moment to reflect," Sarah suggested, her own spirit soaring. "Let us share our hearts. What signs guide us? What is the divine calling us to see?" A hush fell over the congregation as each member began to reflect inwardly. Sarah could feel the silence thickening, pregnant with potential, and encouraged a few brave souls to speak first. Mary, her neighbor, was the first to break the stillness. "Just last week, I found an old coin in my garden," she recounted, her voice quivering. "It didn't belong to anyone I knew. Felt like a message, reminding me to look for treasures even in ordinary moments." Others began to share their own encounters, moments that seemed trivial at first but were now bathed in meaning. A lost feather found resting near the church steps, the sight of a rainbow after a storm, the comforting warmth of a sunrise that lit the path forward. Each revelation added to the growing tapestry of connection, woven with gratitude and wonder as they shared. Sarah's heart swelled with joy. They were creating a narrative, a collective story of faith and divine interaction amidst their struggles. Just then, the heavens opened wide, showering them with a downpour so sudden it felt like an embrace from above. They collectively laughed, a joyous sound mingled with raindrops, rising in the sacredness of their gathering. "God is speaking," David exclaimed, throwing his hands up as if to welcome the rain. We have to be ready for what he has planned. But as the deluge poured, Sarah felt an undeniable tug of fear mixed with excitement. Could they truly be ready? The room was alight with hope, but beneath it lay an undercurrent of uncertainty that nudged at her heart. What did this divine invitation truly mean? As the storms raged outside, she realized that her journey was only just beginning. What lay ahead might be astonishing, but it also sparked questions that remained unanswerable. It was then, amidst the pouring rain and the gathering of souls, that a floating thought drifted through her consciousness. Can we, as one body, embark on this journey together, unraveling the mysteries God has in store for us? In that moment, Sarah knew they were all standing on the threshold of the unimaginable. Who would take the first step into the unknown, and what awaited them on the other side? The laughter faded as the rain pattered softly, transforming into a symphony of splashes against the earth. It was a sound that enveloped them like a warm embrace. Sarah looked around. Faces once filled with trepidation now glowed with a sense of shared adventure. Who will be the first? She asked, her voice rising above the soothing chaos of falling rain. It was a gentle challenge, an invitation for courage in the face of the unknown. The moment offered a ripe potential that shimmered in the air, begging to be tasted. It should be us together, Mary replied, her voice emboldened. We're all looking, aren't we? David nodded, a fire igniting behind his eyes. We are here for truth and for each other. Why don't we share not just our signs but our dreams too? What do we hope to uncover? A wave of agreement washed through the group, a collective recognition of the journey ahead. One by one, they began to pour forth their hopes, thoughts, and even fears into the air like fragrant smoke rising from the candles. Words flew freely, weaving into a stronger bond that transcended their individual selves. With each testimony, the atmosphere thickened with divine promise. Someone shared a vision of a brighter future, unshackled from past burdens. Another spoke of a longing for healing, both within and among their community. And still another revealed a yearning for deeper understanding of their spiritual walk and invitation. It seemed to venture beyond the familiar paths they once walked. Sarah felt herself swell with excitement. Courage wasn't just an individual act, it sparkled in the collective heartbeat of their gathering. The more we share, the more we chains dissolve, she whispered to the group. What we are doing here is an act of faith. We are drawing closer to one another, just as we draw closer to God. As if on cue, the storm intensified outside, a dazzling display of nature's own worship. Thunder rolled through the sky, loud and mighty, reminding them of the power present not just in their hearts, but in the universe surrounding them. The heavens themselves seemed to resonate with their collective voice. In that mighty moment, something shifted. A radiant glow enveloped them, spilling warmth throughout the church as if time itself paused to give honor. Sarah could feel her spirit lift, her doubts diminishing under the weight of divine love surrounding them. Look, shouted Mary, pointing upward. A shaft of brilliant light pierced through the clouds, illuminating the room with a magical glow. Gasps erupted, and their hearts soared as they caught their breath in unison. The moment felt otherworldly, a sign the world around them fading into the backdrop of something greater. Sarah's mind raced. What were they witnessing? Angela glanced at her, eyes sparkling, murmuring, "The light is guiding us, showing us we're not alone." Yes, David echoed, his face lit with passion. This is our moment. We should take our first steps right now. Let us not waste this divine invitation. The air thickened with a sense of urgency. Each participant felt an overwhelming compulsion to step forward. But with that push came a weight of uncertainty. What lay ahead was still cloaked in mystery. Would they find answers? Would the path be smooth or fraught with obstacles? Their eyes met in an unspoken agreement. They knew they belonged to each other now, ready to unravel the secrets behind the light. And so, with trembling anticipation, they formed a circle, hands clasped, hearts open. As they prepared to step into the unknown, a booming crack of thunder surged through the heavens, echoing the energy of their undertaking and that sacred space. where rain met hope and light danced with faith. Sarah whispered inwardly, "Are we truly prepared to follow where this divine calling leads us?" The congregation surged forward, each step pulling them closer to revelation. Little did they know, the journey had only just begun. As they clasped hands, a profound silence enveloped the group. The world outside faded, the rain now a mere whisper, as if listening in awe to the sacred moment unfolding within the church. Each heart thudded in unison, a rhythm of expectancy, as if the very heavens were conspiring to reveal something grander than any of them could imagine. In that stillness, Sarah felt an unusual surge of warmth radiate from the center of their circle. It was a gentle, reassuring light that seemed to pulse with their joined hopes and prayers. "Let us take a moment to breathe," she suggested softly. "Let us invite the divine presence to fill our hearts and guide our thoughts." As they inhaled deeply, a collective turning inward began. A few of them closed their eyes, surrendering to the moment, while others looked around, absorbing each sparkling face. Within this sacred space, it felt like the air shimmered with divine encouragement. Suddenly, as if conjured by unspoken request, a humming filled the room, soft, melodic, enveloping. Angela's eyes widened in joy. "Can you hear that? It's like a choir of angels." The sound seemed to wrap around them, lifting their spirits further into a transcendent realm. It wasn't just a sound. It was a promise. Each note wove through their hearts, binding them tighter in their collective mission. David felt tears prick at the edges of his eyes, overwhelmed by the grace surrounding them. In the midst of it all, Mary began to speak, her voice rising amidst the melody. "This is a reminder, I senti it, that we are each seen, known, and loved. Even when we feel distant, we are wrapped in a love that knows no bounds." As she shared her heart, the radiant light seemed to dim slightly, inviting her words to take center stage. It was as if the divine listened and responded in the silence. Then, just as Mary finished, a thought pierced Sarah's heart like a bolt of clarity. What if they were not just seekers of truth, but the vessels through which that truth would flow? We are here to share love, to exchange our truths. What if we embrace this light together? She proposed, her excitement buoyed by the presence surrounding them. Her words, heads nodded in agreement. Each spirit ignited with a fresh understanding, a flickering candle flame rekindled from the warmth of divine trust. They felt drawn to proclaim their shared experience and the love they held for one another. "Let us shout our dreams into this light," David exclaimed, his voice ringing out like a bell. "Let us declare our hopes." Came another call, and soon they were lifting their voices, a tapestry of prayers and aspirations encircling them. "I seek healing," shouted Mary, her voice strong. "I seek clarity," Angela added. "I seek connections," another member called out, their voices weaving a beautiful melody of longing and faith. With each proclamation, the room pulsed with energy, the light brightening with each declaration, carrying their voices up toward the awaiting heavens. And then, as if their combined hopes touched the very heart of God, a sudden hush fell. The light shifted, and they felt an extraordinary presence among them, a quiet, powerful assurance. "All is known." A soft whisper resonated within their hearts, not from the air around, but from within themselves. With that revelation came an unexplainable peace. Each one felt it, the warmth of understanding, the gentle embrace of confirmation that they were indeed where they needed to be. But then, a question lingered, echoing softly in the silence. What lay beyond the light, in the depths of the journey that awaited? The anticipation thickened, forcing them to lean closer together, ready for anything that might come next. They stood in that sacred space, a fragile moment stretching before them like a thin veil waiting to be lifted. The air sparkled with anticipation. They were aware of each other, the circle of faith tethering them warmly together. The emotions radiated through the room, creating a tapestry of love and hope, infusing every corner with divine potential. David, feeling the surge of connection, dared to break the silence once more. "What if we ask for signs? Signs that confirm we are loved and missed, even when we are apart." His voice carried the weight of yearning, echoing through their hearts. "Signs?" Angela echoed, her brows furrowing in thought. What kind of signs? Maybe something we can recognize: a feather, a flower, an unexpected message from a friend. Anything that makes us feel this love is real, he explained, his eyes sparkling with expectation. A heavy quiet enveloped them again as they considered his words. What would those signs be? They each took a moment to reflect on their own lives, on the moments where they wished to feel profoundly connected to one another, even if miles apart. Mary, mindful of the power of prayer, lifted her voice softly but firmly. Let us ask for these signs together, shall we? Her suggestion felt like an invitation to step deeper into the mystery lying beyond the light they had created around them. Yes, let us. Came multiple affirmations, a chorus of eager belief that brightened the energy in the room once more. Sarah adjusted her grip on the hands she held tightly. Close your eyes again, everyone. Let us set our intentions together. Let us speak openly about those we wish to connect with. With eyes closed, they began to call out names, each one a thread woven into the fabric of their community. I call upon John. I need a sign that he thinks of me. I lift up Rachel. I hope she feels my love from afar. Angela's voice was stronger now, as if their unity had bolstered each individual spirit. With each name spoken, they felt a surreal warmth grow around them. It felt as though a bridge was forming, life flowing in both directions, connecting them with loved ones who perhaps, at that very moment, were missing them too. As they prayed together, the humming returned, weaving through the air once more, coaxing out a joyful surrender. The atmosphere transformed into an embrace of faith, their hearts dancing with the belief that something remarkable was soon to happen. Suddenly, a flicker of light danced across the ceiling. The group gasped collectively. It was as if the divine response to their request was descending, wrapping itself around them in a swirl of soft, ethereal glow. One by one, their eyes opened in shock and joy. What is that? David whispered, pointing upward in awe. The light pulsed and flickered, embodying the very essence of their wishes. A stillness reigned, yet an energetic buzz thrummed through them. Could this really be the sign they had asked for? Their hearts raced, their faces aglow with wonder. And then, the air grew thick with a beautiful expectancy. A brilliant thought struck Sarah like an arrow. What if we need to go out and look for these signs, instead of waiting for them to come to us? Her words hung in the air, heavy with possibility. What would it take for them to actively seek the love and connection they longed for? As they pondered her question, the glow above them dimmed suddenly before exploding into a myriad of colors, as if the heavens themselves were answering her. Was this the beginning of their journey to find connection, or perhaps something even deeper that God was revealing? Little did they know, the signs were but the precursors to a transformation hidden far beyond what they could presently imagine. What awaited them as they stepped forward in faith? As the flickering light danced, something shifted within the atmosphere. It was a soft whisper, a gentle nudge from the Spirit, encouraging them to step into the unknown. David took a deep breath, feeling the exhilaration of the moment. Maybe we should go outdoors, seek those signs under the wide-open sky. His voice rose with excitement, igniting a spark of adventure within the group. Let us do it. Angela chimed in, her laughter echoing with joy. Warm's hearts began to chase the excitement that was building, as they visualized stepping into Goddess creation, arms open to signs of love directed towards them. Mary squeezed Sarah's hand, her eyes shining with the thrill of possibility. I can feel the presence of those they've named. Let us honor our connections. We might find blessings in unexpected places. An eager agreement washed over the group, and the weight of anticipation uplifted their spirits even higher. They gathered their belongings, the light above them transforming into a warm aura wrapping around their shoulders like a divine shawl. Exiting the sacred space, they were greeted by the serene beauty of twilight painting the sky in shades of lavender and gold as they ventured down the path. The cool breeze whispered through the trees, a gentle reminder of the interwoven threads that tied their hearts together. Look, exclaimed Sarah, pointing to a lone white feather drifting lazily from the branches above. Could that be a sign? They paused, taking in the simple beauty of the feather. It seemed to glow faintly, as if charged by the very love they sought. They felt awe wash over them, recognizing the moment as sacred. Maybe it's a message that those we miss are close, David mused, a teary smile on his face. The group continued walking, scanning the ground and sky. Soon, Mary stopped in front of a blooming daisy, its vibrant yellow petals shining against the dusk. This flower reminds me of joy, just as God has planted joy in our hearts even when we can't see our loved ones. Yes, Angela responded, kneeling to touch the delicate petals. Joy doesn't just exist. It grows even in the smallest places. The further they walked, the more they immersed themselves in their quest. Their laughter blended with the sounds of nature as they remembered the stories associated with each loved one they fretted for. The divine glow they felt earlier still wrapped around them, radiating hope as they searched for more signs. Suddenly, David stopped, his breath hitching as he spotted something gleaming at the edge of a nearby garden. Is that a message? He pointed towards a small, crumpled piece of paper poking out from beneath a rock. They gathered around him, and with careful hands, he retrieved it. Unfolding it slowly, they revealed the words written in a familiar handwriting. I miss you. I love you. Gasps filled the air here, clear as day, was proof of their connection transcending distance. What a sign! Exclaimed Mary, her heart soaring with joy. Tears of gratitude shimmered in her eyes. This has to be from our beloved ones. They are thinking of us. God is showing us how real the ties of love truly are. As they savored this moment of revelation, a new question began to stir in the back of their minds. What if these signs were not just fragments of connection, but the opening to something deeper, a divine mission calling them to believe in the power of love and connection? As they stood in the glow of their insights, a stillness enveloped them. They realized this journey wasn't only about receiving signs. It was also about sharing love and seeking to serve those who needed it the most. Was this the beginning of understanding what divine purpose awaited them? The moon began to rise, its light blending with the shimmer of the stars, inviting both wonder and mystery. What would they discover next on this path of faith and intentional seeking? The air grew thick with anticipation as the moon ascended, casting its gentle glow over the landscape. David turned to his friends, his heart throbbing with questions. What if our journey is leading us to those who need love right now? Could we be the hands of God, extending comfort and hope? His words felt heavy yet peaceful, radiating a warmth that wrapped around them like a soft blanket. Angela stepped forward, her voice taut with purpose. We're already on that path. This isn't just about signs from our loved ones. It's about being signs of love to others. Mary nodded, her eyes bright with inspiration. Let us not just seek but also share. Let us look for ways to bring joy or comfort. Could be a small gesture or a kind word. Sarah smiled, her spirit lifted by the idea. Let us make it a mission tonight. Look for opportunities as we walk. With renewed vigor, they resumed their stroll, mindful and open to the world around them. It felt like a divine tapestry was unfolding, weaving moments of connection and care before them. The group embraced each instinctive pull in their hearts, drawing nearer to each other as they ventured deeper into the night. The laughter that resonated from their mouths blended harmoniously with the sounds of rustling leaves and chirping crickets, as if nature itself rejoiced in their growing resolve. Then, amid their chatter, they heard a faint despondent sound rising from behind a nearby bench. Curiosity ignited within David, who gestured quietly for the group to hush. Approaching slowly, they saw a young woman sitting with head in hands, a wave of sorrow washing over her. Can we help? Whispered Angela, concern furrowing her brow. Mary instinctively moved closer. Let us reach out. We were given so many signs. Perhaps we're meant to be a sign of hope for her. With a collective sigh, they approached. Hey there. Mary began softly, kneeling beside the bench. Is everything all right? The woman looked up, her eyes reflecting a storm of emotions, both surprised and grateful. I don't know. Her voice trembled. I've been feeling lost and alone. I just miss my family. Instantly, the connection bloomed. David, recalling the feather and the daisy, smiled kindly. We understand. We've been on a journey looking for signs of love from those we miss. And you know what? You are loved too. Your family cares for you. Hearts often ache, Angela added, her voice filled with understanding. But we can show each other love and support. You're not alone tonight. The young woman blinked back tears, absorbing their words like rain on parched soil. Thank you. This means more than you know, she whispered, her shoulders relaxing slightly just then. As if the heavens themselves responded, a gust of wind swept through, carrying with it a scattering of leaves that danced playfully in the air. Within that gentle whirl, they noticed a glint. A small silver locket rolled from her lap, catching the light. "Oh!" Sarah exclaimed, reaching down to retrieve it. "What a beautiful piece! It must hold something special." As she handed it back, the woman clutched the locket tightly, her resolve shining with a glimmer of hope. "It's a picture of my family. It reminds me that love doesn't fade, even when they're far away." Their hearts swelled with joy at this exchange, feeling like they had unlocked a tiny miracle. They began sharing life stories, sharing laughter and memories, forming a bond that transcended the previous grief. In that moment, they realized that their journey had indeed taken a turn deeper. It wasn't merely about seeking signs. It was about becoming the embodiment of love and connection that they had yearned for. The night continued to unfold mysteries around them, and together they learned that the blessings were not just for them but to be passed on. What awaited them next would surely be richer still. As the stars twinkled above, an unspoken question hung in the air. Where would their journey take them now? What other divine signs awaited as they spread their wings wider in love? The moon hung high, casting her silvery light over the village, as Sarah and her friends embraced the gifts of connection they had found that night. The young woman whose sorrow had tugged at their hearts, named Emily, now stood among them, her weary spirit buoyed by their warmth. Together, they had sparked a light that pierced through clouds of loneliness and doubt. The once dim weight of unshared sorrow transformed into laughter and newfound hope. "Thank you," Emily whispered, still holding her locket close, as if it held not just her family's image but a part of their collective heart. Sarah felt tears threatening to spill again, but this time they were born of joy. "We should make this our mission," she said, her voice steady with purpose. "Let us reach out to everyone who feels alone or lost, to those who miss their loved ones. If we could be signs for Emily, can you imagine how many others need us?" David nodded vigorously. "Yes, let us be the signs. We've received so much love tonight. It's only right to share it." At that, their spirits surged, unity pulsing like a vibrant heartbeat. With excitement thrumming through the group, they ventured further into the night, sharing stories with anyone they encountered, offering hugs, words of comfort, and smiles so bright it seemed the stars shone a little more brightly in their wake. The laughter echoed through the village, each sentiment a thread woven into the fabric of connection that felt tangible now. On their journey, they spotted more feathers, blossoms, and even stumbled upon another letter draped over a park bench, penned in a shaky yet determined hand. "Don't lose hope," it read. "Love never falters. I wonder if this is for someone else or if we are meant to find it." Sarah mused, feeling an otherworldly pull toward truth flutter through her chest. As time unfolded, Emily found her strength woven within their circle of love. Together, they carved paths through the village, whispering prayers of healing and connection. In coffee shops, they offered kind words. In parks, they gathered kids for impromptu games, reminding everyone how joy could illuminate even the darkest days. And then, one evening, as they returned to the little church that had been their refuge, a pivotal moment emerged. The congregation buzzed with energy, eager to hear their tales of hope. "Let us call it Blessings Night," Sarah suggested. "A time to share our signs and inspire one another." The idea ignited the room. "Gather round, everyone," David exclaimed, his excitement radiating. "We've got so much love and connection to share." People poured in, and laughter mingled with the embers of prayer. Stories unfolded like petals opening to the sun, each revelation whispered of love transcending loss. As the night deepened, Sarah took a moment to survey the congregation. "Do you feel the love that binds us?" The signs we've discovered are just echoes of a divine love that ties us together. It's not just those we've lost that are with us. It's each of us who carry that love forward. The room hushed, hearts open to the truth she spoke. And then, from the back, a familiar voice rose, a beloved friend lost to the tides of time. Sarah? It was Abigail. The shock rippled through the space, illuminating every face with a gasp of disbelief. Her presence, though unexpected, seemed woven into the very fabric of the moment, like a beautiful tapestry uniting all of their experiences. You didn't need to look to find me, I've been here all along. She smiled, her light infectious. Love transcends distance, time, and even absence. Exclamations filled the air. Sarah felt an uncontainable joy, mixed with disbelief. Abigail, is this really you? Yes. Abigail laughed, her voice melodic, a harmonious reminder of years shared, and she stepped closer. The congregation held its breath, tears streaming down their faces. Your love called me back through these signs. I saw every feather, every flower, and felt every prayer. The atmosphere surged with energy, the kind that binds souls beyond the veil. They reached for one another, hearts intertwined with the miracle of connection and compassion. With overwhelming gratitude flooding her soul, Sarah raised her hands. We are but vessels of the love we have waited for. Each sign, each story. Let us be guided by them. As night shifted toward dawn, with Abigail's laughter mingling with theirs, they realized they held the power to be the manifestations of love, like stars against the night sky, each shining brightly for one another. And as they joined hands, whispers of faith and hope echoed, lighting the path forward not only for themselves, but for a world that was desperately searching for connection. In that sacred moment of unity and revelation, as the first rays of morning illuminated their faces, they stood together, a living testament to the extraordinary beauty of love's infinite reach and a resolve to fan the flames of faith even brighter. This was their mission, their calling, growing bonds that extended to all, woven in the fabric of divine purpose. A dance of love that would continue, bringing light where darkness once dwelled, for generations to come. You need to subscribe now. Don't wait even one more second to share this incredible journey of faith with your friends. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread this message. Comment your thoughts and testimonies below about how this story touched your life, and share instantly with at least 5 friends who are craving divine connection. Together, let us carry this beautiful light further into the world.